For the last 30 or 40 years, or even longer, most people have assumed in the Western world that the progress of the market and the progress of democracy would always go hand in hand, that there was not an inherent conflict between the growth of financial markets and the will of the people. But these financial crises that we have faced in Europe and elsewhere, they have suddenly brought us to this historic crossroads that we have to choose, whether we like it or not. What is more important, the interests of the financial markets or the democratic will of the people? When I had swept away all the complicated analysis on the IceSave issue, I was faced, whether I liked it or not, with this fundamental choice between the will of the people on one hand and what was being argued by most financial experts was the interest of the financial market on the other. And when we look at the result today, it turns out that the ordinary people, the wisdom of the people, turned out to be more correct than the combined expertise of the ministries of finance, the commission in Brussels, and the so-called established financial authorities. The important aspect to me, from my personal experience of this financial crisis, is that it brought the Western world, especially Europe, to these historic crossroads. And I've often said to European leaders in the last few years, what is Europe's most important contribution to the world? It's not financial markets, because you have lots of other countries in Asia, elsewhere, that are pretty sophisticated in terms of financial markets and have contributed to the globalization of financial markets. Europe's most important contribution to the world is democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. And when Europe faces a fundamental crisis of its own, why doesn't it follow what is Europe's most important contribution to the world, which is the will of the people, the rule of the law as it is guided by the will of the people?